but that'll help you follow along. So I'd like to introduce you again to our very favorite, Miss Jenny. Get on up here.
While we are, oh, thank you, nice.
All right.
I'm not lying.
Here, I'll trade you.
All right, Jennifer Miller, are you in the room? It's people that bought the VIP tickets, so Jennifer Miller, and then I have Gertie. Where are you? Get 2 of these VIP chips. So if you are coming to the dinner, you need a purple casino chip. So if you don't have those and you pay for a ticket, you gotta come see me. And then Brandon, I know he's on here, but he gets 3. Or Jennifer. Perfect. All right. As they were talking, I did want to, Amy was going to, she had her hand raised, but when they're talking about the shortage of STRs, it's not just new construction. So the data she gets from, the groups that she's involved in is that there's anything like, there's like 20,000 or 30,000 new Airbnb members monthly. Okay?
And that's new Airbnb posts. That does not include the properties. It can be more than 20. It can be more. It's just the hosts, 20,000 new hosts per month. That doesn't include that they might have more than one property. So
it's getting very saturated, like they were saying, they're in full agreement. But that also means there's enough work. Because there's a lot of those in that 20,000 that is not pretty. So I do it full time. I used to stay for 15 years, now I do it full time. I teach a class on it through Iahsp. It is an industry that I am in love with, and I have found great value in it. And I made enough money to pay for Brandon.
Yeah. And he's worth it. Wasn't Brandon amazing? I mean, the energy and the information he shared is so valuable. I love the short-term rental aspect. I'll admit, as a professional stager, haven't done a lot on the design side because I sort of feel like, I know how to stage a house and pull that together, but I feel sort of unconfident when it comes to doing the STRs. So it's really great to learn from other people, to learn their process, see where they resource, they get things. We are actually establishing a partnership with a very valuable company, not money-wise, but just as far as a partnership. What they're going to bring to the table for Iahsp is going to be an exclusive. It's going to be really, really phenomenal for those people who are looking to buy items, but you don't want to buy caseloads and so forth. It's going to make it easier for us to shop. Plus, being able to sell the products, like they have Shop the Look. They'll have all that built in, and we're working on like a white label for Iahsp, where even though we're partners on their site, people when they shop through our portal won't realize that they're going to another entity. So that's in the works. We've got a lot of things we're working on. That kind of came to mind when they were talking about that on the short-term rental. So with that, I would like to, we're doing the vendor panel, and so I'd like to welcome our vendors that are here in the room with us to come on up on stage. So first up, I believe, is Uniqlo. Yes. Uniqlo. And then we have Paragon Copac. Stage 4. And then Bo Digital. So first of all, we would like to be sponsors for supporting our event. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here. So go ahead and take a seat. I'm going to sit here. If you want to do it, or just kind of scoot down one. Okay. And in the past conferences, we've actually held them at hotels and had the sponsors have to come in, and it can be quite expensive for flights and trucking all their furniture in. And so this year we decided partnering with the IMC, which is now called And More. And so we're doing that here and also in Atlanta. So we did kind of 2 regional conferences versus 1 large one. So we're bringing you to the showrooms, which means all of our sponsors, we're going to take people to on the 28th. We can't even get to all of them. So I picked ones that were products and things like that that you are probably most interested in. But how many of you are staying beyond the 28th? Are you staying for several days and going shopping? Raise your hands. Okay, good. Every showroom you go to, tell them you're an Iahsp member. We are considered a buying group. So oftentimes, if you didn't register like an event like this, and you went to market and they'll say, are you part of a group? When you scroll down, Iahsp is listed. So we want them to know that we're here and we're buying things and we want to support the companies that are here, because that then allows them to realize that we are a powerful shopping force. I mean, how many couches can a staging company own? Hundreds, right? And they get, you know, I had some I purchased and they had the design was a seam in the middle with a hinge, and brand new in the house. They go to pick up the thing cracked in half. And so it hadn't even made me any money yet. So I'm like, are you serious? And so I'm like, MacGyver that thing. So put some wood on that so we can keep it out in rotation. But when furniture gets damaged or ruined, you're constantly having to buy. So we're a very different customer than a designer. We're not as big as a retail store perhaps, but we definitely, in volume, we buy a lot. So you want to make sure that you're educating these companies when you're going into the showroom. So let them know who you're with and what you're looking for, and so they don't just, it's taken a lot of years. Where's Sandra? Is she here? I saw Lynn just a second ago. Sandra and Blair Hamady, Sandra Holmes, Blair Hamady, really were instrumental in getting us into the wholesale market space and being able to educate a lot of these companies about what we do and to get them to take us seriously. Because I know Karen Mendenhall, she's out of Charlotte. She wanted to buy couches, and this company just blew her off, would not return her phone calls. And she made a point of finding them at market and walking in the door and saying, do you know how many couches I purchased this year since you've blown me off? Over 100. Just in that time frame, she had purchased over 100 sofas, and I don't know if they still got it. That should have been like, wow. She's one staging company. So there's power in numbers, and we want to definitely exercise our power as an association. So with that, I'm going to take a seat here. I just wanted the vendors that are here, the companies that are supporting us, to have some time to share who they are, what they offer, anything special that you're doing for market, and why should we be shopping for you at your place versus somebody else. So let's start with you, Stephanie.
I'm Stephanie Adams. I'm with Unique Bloom. And we do rugs, and we actually love stagers. Stagers are some of my favorite people to work with, but in my opinion, education is always important. I love being part of these groups because it tells me more about what you need, and I can help you better, make your market more efficient if I know the needs that you need right off the bat. We also offer discounts, as she was saying, as buyers groups. So if you are a member, we have special discounts for that, special buy-ins, things like that.
So Unique Bloom is new with us this year. So tell us about the company and what you offer.
So we have, obviously, rugs. We have all of our hand knotted are one of a kinds, so it makes us a little bit different. Our price point is usually what attracts people. We do have machine wovens, obviously our washables, all of the varieties there. Our freight is a huge deal for anybody who has had struggles with freight. We do offer our locked-in freight rate, which is anything 7x10 or smaller. We ship anywhere in the continental U.S. for $15. Anything larger, we ship for a flat rate of $25. So we will drop ship to everybody. Obviously, we email invoices. We do, and you also have a personal account manager who will help you along the process, and who's there to help you source, who's there to help you along the process with any questions you may have.
That's amazing. So one of the things that stagers or business owners deal with when you order from market is the delivery. And oftentimes if you don't have a warehouse with a dock or a bay, they won't deliver. And so we've been able to bypass that because we do have a 16,000 square foot warehouse, and the dock where you would put it in, they put the big dumpster in, so they've never let us use it, but we have a truck with a lift gate. So we can back our truck up to their truck, offload the stuff into our truck and lift gate it down. So there's ways you can get around that. There's also receiving companies around the country that I had actually, before COVID, had started talking with. So those of you that don't have the warehouse, you don't have the big facility, but you want to purchase wholesale, you could combine with another stager in your area or several. Place a larger order, deliver to one of these receiving areas, and that way you're able to all benefit from buying at the wholesale price, but not having to be the one that has to meet a minimum or be charged this hefty freight rate, or not get delivery because you don't have the right facility, the commercial facility. So keep that in mind. Do you have any show specials?
Actually, well, yes, we do have show specials. We offer obviously a 10% discount with any appointment. However, if you don't have an appointment, but you are a member, as obviously most of you are, then you automatically are going to get a locked in. If you were to join with Unique Loom and open an account, you'll get an automatic 10% discount off of our wholesale pricing rate. You also get your opening order fee waived, so that's automatically taken care of, and you do get 25 samples per rolling year, and then we do provide the 2x3s, so that you do get the larger size. And if you need more, obviously we can accommodate those needs as well.
That's great. So, and how, for people that don't know, like, what would they do with the samples? So why would they ask for that from you?
For 2x3, well, I don't know about all of y'all, but a corner square is fantastic for its size, but I've seen plenty of times where you get your corner square and it's all these beautiful like teals and blues, and then right up here was burnt orange, but that wasn't included in the corner square, so you don't really know what the entire pattern of the rug looks like. Plus, if you have a 2x3, then, for example, you might have it for a specific project, don't need it again, would never use it again, then you gift it, you sell it, it's yours to keep. We don't charge you for the sample, we don't charge you for the freight, it's yours to do with what you want, but you're getting a true example of what the true rug looks like.
That's awesome. So, and how long, so is Unique Loom, they're here, where else do you show?
We show in Dallas full-time, and we also have a full-time showroom in High Point.
Nice.
Yes.
All right, Melanie, you introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Melanie Young, and I'm with Paragon, and I do have a colleague here with me, Stephanie, so we both work together, and we offer artwork, lamps, and mirrors. So we're your wall decor girls. We can make your walls look pretty.
Melanie, sorry.
Higher. Is that better?
Okay, good. Sorry.
Okay, sorry, I don't usually use the mic. I'm pretty loud-mouthed anyway, so I don't usually use the mic. But we build everything in Alabama, and it's nice coming here year after year. I'm seeing familiar faces each time. So a lot of you may know our product already, may have visited our showroom, but if you have not, I hope that you're going to come Sunday. We're in the tour of showrooms and visit our art and lamps and mirrors.
So you had Paragon and ProPack. So talk about how they were apart, now they're together. So when did that happen, and what does that mean for more volume for all of us, correct?
Yes, it was really a great help for you, especially with freight cost. Previously, we were a family-owned company, so we had ProPack, which built smaller pieces, more budget price pieces, and then we had Paragon, which could do larger pieces, one-of-kinds, hand-painted, reproductions as well. So now in July of last year, we merged the companies. So you can order both companies together and ship them together. And it was a great point that Jenny made about if you have nowhere to deliver, like maybe just to your home, that's a great point to combine with someone else to help with that freight. And we do have flat freight charts as well throughout the U.S., Canada, Mexico. We ship everywhere. That is on our website, and I have lots of other information I can give you on cards and everything.
And their artwork is, it's framed, and you also have wrapped canvas as well. But when I've gone into their showrooms, if you're doing, what I like is they have, the way your showroom is set up is beautiful, and they have a lot of the collections that are together. So let's say you're doing a property and you're in a coastal area, they'll have all the coastal things, so it's easy to find. And it's not that I don't mind going through a showroom and everything's kind of like haphazard. You have to kind of hunt around, and then I'm like, where did I see that picture? And I'm trying to find it again. So I really like how your showroom is laid out.
It is.
It's very
It's
easy to shop.
categorized. That way, if you don't want a hunting dog, I'm not going to take you to that section, But if you want a flower or a beach scene, I'm going to know where to show you and not waste your time. So, and as Jenny mentioned, one more thing, we do, thinking of your needs, sometimes you don't always want that glassed piece. So we do a variety of things, such as she mentioned the canvas. We also do like a glaze texture. We do it on plexi. Sometimes we have wood products without glass, metal products. So there's a variety of different things that are great to use and reuse again without getting damaged.
Where do you get your artwork? Do you have artists that create them for you, or do you source them other places?
We have a variety of places. We have artwork. We have artists in-house who create things. We license with other artists. We also purchase imagery from print vendors throughout the U.S., and we print in-house as well on canvas, paper, fabric, tissue. If anybody's ever coming to North Alabama, you have an invitation to come by our factory. I'll tour you through it. It's really interesting. I've been with them for 32 years, and I still love going back out in the factory and watching the things they create daily.
I love your accent, by the way. And she reminds me, how many of you guys know Betty Voss? So she's been a long time member. She's one of the owners, and she's from Alabama too. She's from Birmingham, but she's originally from Nolens, is what she would tell me. But she spent most of her life in Alabama.
I have family from New Orleans.
And I know, I appreciate that. Art is one of those things where constantly changing, gets damaged a lot if it's not handled properly. Like, people just, your movers that stick it in the snow, and you're like, what are you doing? And so, constantly having to replenish. And I know, I'm creative, I paint it, I can paint murals, and in the back of my head, I'm like, I'll just paint some artwork. And I know I can do that. I can do it in a quick pinch. I can create that. And I've even downloaded images and pictures, and I've even bought the canvases. Ask me how many paintings I've actually made. Zero. I don't have time. So, and the cost of purchasing, how much is your time worth as a business owner? And to be able to purchase artwork that's unique, you're not going to find it in all of the TJ Maxx and the Home Goods, and I know we all go there in a pinch. It's nice to have things that are unique, that make you stand out from other people who are in the same industry, that are shopping more locally. They're not taking advantage of the wholesale vendors, because what we see here at Market hasn't really hit the stores yet. So you're getting first look at and first opportunity to purchase things that your other people they're not going to see that for many months. So it helps you have an edge and stay fresh and current and on trend and be the pace setter versus the follower.
Okay, perfect. Well, we just invite you to come by, and we'd love, and come by and pick up a card from our table. My name, Stephanie's information, we're on there. You can reach us anytime. Be glad to answer any questions.
Awesome. Next we have Dustin Ritter with Stage Force.
Hi there, I'm Dustin Ritter. I'm the CEO of Stage Force. Can I just hear real quick any claps from Stage Force customers? I love it. Sorry, I just had to.
You didn't do what I would have.
So I've been with the company for roughly 4 years or so, part in the staging company. So the owner of Stage Force has a staging company as well. And Tori Prince, right, started Stage Force back in 2017. So it's going to be almost 7 years now. But started as an inventory management system, and if you guys have paid attention, we haven't marketed that much, but we've been going through a transformation like a butterfly, turning it into an all-in-one platform for staging. So it's been a fun journey. We launched it last June, and the good news is over 50% of our customer base said, I want to keep all of these new features, and I want all of you to continue to develop more features. So we've been doing our best to try to add as much of the best tools from all different types of tools you guys use to put them into one platform so that you don't have to bounce around. You can spend your time designing. So,
talk about the features though, because I always said from the very, very beginning, the very first inventory management system was developed by somebody who worked for the Department of Defense. Her name was Lucy Butcher, and she came out of Colorado, and I think it was developed and then it's gone. And so to have something that sticks around and actually works is really valuable. And to have everything from soup to nuts where you don't, as you said, you don't have to go to multiple platforms. So it's a CRM, you can generate proposals, your quotes, do your accounting. Talk about all the features it does have.
Yeah, it can be confusing because there's so many different aspects of it. We're not at proposals yet, but those are launching.
It's coming.
Those are launching in about a month. But so inventory management, there's no other system that has all the features that we have, just point blank. Doesn't matter if you've tried, other things that are generic like Sortly or something. There's some Europeans use Sortly a decent amount, but there's no other system out there that's got tools. I mean, it's built for staging, 100%. There's no other way around it. So very deep in the inventory side. But then the next major thing we did was just go deep into project management. So build new features, all supporting project management so you can kill your spreadsheet. Does everybody have a master spreadsheet of all your jobs? Everybody raise your hand if you got a master spreadsheet. Yep, well, the whole point was let's stop using that spreadsheet because it possibly can't contain all the data that I want, and it also looks terrible, And if you try to train somebody new in a spreadsheet, here's my brain on paper in a spreadsheet, it doesn't work out very well. So we tried to take the Stager brain, put it into projects, and just small features like stage date and starting your project date. How many times is it estimated because you know it's going to potentially move because of something else that's happening on the calendar. So the way to essentially have a little toggle there, it says estimated, and we color it different. We've built so many little features in that support staging, but the account management, not CRMs in general, can't put a whole bunch of different types of accounts, like your painter, the broker, the realtor, the homeowner's wife, or the homeowner or the husband. You can't get all into a CRM like that. So we built a lot of cool features like that. And I'll just gotta say, what's coming that's gonna change the staging world is us launching the feature for you guys to be able to sell inventory through our system to the public through your online store. So that is what we are launching.
So we need to talk because why this mention there? That's awesome. So you'll be able to integrate in there. So we need to talk because it's probably an API interface, but we definitely want. No,
we are building our own. It is no APIs necessary.
No. Okay, good. Well, we'll talk.
Okay.
But, so they're always thinking ahead, and I love that their product, their platform and so forth is developed by a professional home stager. Versus we've had other people throughout the years. Like one was like a large tractor company type of thing out of Australia, and then they realized that their product or their application could be used for inventory management. It was very clunky and very hard to use. And so that's the thing is with a lot of us are creatives. And if you're not like tech savvy, you're like, you don't want to take all this time to make the system work for you and make tweaks and so forth. This has already been adapted and created for the staging process. I think it's the first one that really was built so robustly too. And it's cloud-based, right?
Cloud-based, yeah.
Versus other ones have been server-based, and those when the server farted out, this person had to go around the country trying to restore people's data that was all lost, because you don't want that kind of risk. And I love that you can access your account from anywhere in the world, which is really important. So tell me about the proposal feature that's coming too.
So the first proposal feature we're going to be launching is basically like a replacement for DocuSign. So if you use DocuSign now or something like it, the idea that you create your proposal, you upload it in there, and then your customers will be able to e-sign that, agree to it, if they need to make notes because they don't agree to it, they'll get versions. So we're calling it basically proposals and agreements because there's addendums that can happen on a job. There's all kinds of things like that. So that'll be the first phase of what we implement, but then eventually we're going to get to more of like a Panda doc or something like that where you build your proposal in our system and customize it. It's just, you can imagine PandaDoc is a really large company, millions and millions and millions of dollars of revenue. We are a very small company, and I know for all the stage forcers out there, they're always like, when can we have this and that and this and that? And I'm like, you're asking for something right from a very small company. But we do our best to try to accommodate and listen to what everybody wants. My job is to help prioritize what is the most important that everybody seems to need and agree upon. Like we're coming out with an analytics package in about a week or two. So all the KPIs that you kind of manage your business off of, average days staged, win-loss rate, all these basic, super important pieces that you run your business off of, that's what we're launching in 1 to 2 weeks. And I've got mock-ups if you want to see them. So
I would love that. The data, that's awesome because the data, the statistics are so powerful. When Leslie stood up here and talked about the profile of home staging, which by the way is on the Iahsp site already. It's in the documents that are shared, and you can download it. It doesn't obviously cost anything to download it. They come out with it every odd year. So after 2025, hopefully they'll have another release. But the data matters because that's the proof that staging works. And so what is more powerful than you using your own data? And for those of you, how many do you track your days on market and you're asking agents and all that kind of thing to give you that feedback? It can be sometimes hard to get that information. So to be able to have an analytics that's going to do that for you, that's powerful. And so when that gets released, I would love to be able to...
That is released.
Oh, it is released.
Sorry, the analytics part is not, but the data capture is.
So being able to grab statistics, and we're going to talk about that too. See, I didn't know all that. And I know that my biggest piece of advice when it comes to inventory management is start from the beginning. When you start your business, don't wait until you're so large that you have all this stuff and it would take eons to get it in the system. What I would love, I'm going to make a request for you. I would love for you to send somebody to my warehouse and document, log everything in, and get it all done for me. So when is that coming out?
You know what's funny? We actually, everybody who's a stage forcer here who follows us on Facebook knows that we just posted that because we've been asked for pro services for quite a while because they want somebody who knows what they're doing to train their team and get it all in the system and jumpstart, the implementation. So we put it out there, and of course, everybody who's already implemented was like, that would have been nice back at the beginning. So we actually do have, if everybody knows Krista, who's maybe helped them in the past or done demos, she's going to be the one who's actually going to fly out to the business and help implement it or improve your implementation at the facility. So we are going to offer it. We're going to start with some test customers, make sure it goes well, and then we're going to expand on it from there. So
that's going to be huge. And those of you that haven't jumped into the inventory management, you can track things on spreadsheets. My understanding is that those can be uploaded into the system pretty easily. Photographs, when you purchased it, prices and so forth, keeping track of that so you can just...
There's an initial upload when you start with us, but other than that, there's a different story to it. So I can expand more on that, but the biggest thing is, especially if you're interested in selling your inventory, when we launch that, hopefully in the summer, because it's multi-month, it's like building a whole new software platform. Now is the time to get on Stageforce, because if you care about selling inventory and want to turn that over and make money selling furniture, now is the time to either get on it for the first time and start putting in all the data, or to refresh your data and start getting the rest of it in. Because some people only put the large. That's all we recommend. Just put the larges in first and then get into the more details. But if you can imagine, if you go to a house, there's a QR code. It's your QR code that's for that house. And all they have to do is go there and they can start picking what they want or choose to buy the whole house. Here's the dollar amount. Here's the transaction. You just made an extra $45,000 from selling all the furniture in that house. That just changes your world, right?
Another revenue stream.
It's a total another revenue stream. You can even put new items on there. So now you're a wholesaler. You could just say, we're going to have I'm going to put something on my website that is, here's my online store. And here's everything that's currently available at the warehouse as a toggle switch or control that you have. And then you just stop posting on Facebook Marketplace and having the no-shows and having the bad experiences. We're bringing a bunch of features down to the tag level so that the purchase date, the purchase price, the sale price, the item condition, the item photos can all be down at the lowest level of the item. So it's just such a game changer. I was always hesitant to talk about it because we've been planning it for a while, but now that we've released the new features and we're ready to go to start building that, I am just so excited because I know what it's like from the stager side, to try to sell those items and where the revenue streams can be. And who's the other speakers you've had that make more money selling furniture than they do even staging sometimes, right?
Right, yeah. I mean, for example, Blair's not here, probably in Atlanta, but he's got the warehouse, but he's got the retail stores. And so when you start shifting, because you do want to have niches of income, and we're going to talk, we have a panel tomorrow that talk about different ways to earn income with different market niches, something that's not tied to resale. Because how many of you panicked in November when the market seemed to come to a screeching halt in a lot of areas, and all of a sudden it's like, where is all the business? Or a lot of stagers had, December was really a slow month. I'm hearing people went from November to January with no business. And if your whole business is wrapped around resale and staging vacant or occupied homes and so forth, and that ceases because external factors like the interest rates being jacked up and the panic in the real estate market or just the time of year, and you're like, I can't pay my bills, you have to develop other niche income resources, whether it's short-term rental, doing other kind of design, but selling furniture, you have your product, and I get to the point where I'm not excited about that piece of furniture, that thing anymore, and I like shopping, I like seeing the new things, so clear out the old, get ready for the new, that's phenomenal. And I wanted to ask one thing, also, we talked in London.
Well, can I follow on that real quick?
Oh, yeah,
Everybody got a warehouse, right, that does? If you have capacity, when those D stages start happening, you start panicking, start stacking, start creating islands worth of furniture that are just like the Grinch, right? That's the whole point. The whole point is ride that dip, sell more, do more, within that time period. It's going to help you even out the waves. To your point,
Yeah, can you imagine if you had this in place, and then so you had this lower time, at least for most markets. I know Florida, the December and November, that's a hot time there. But whenever your market lulls, if you were able to then sell the product that's coming back and cramming your warehouse, like he's saying, then that's very much true. Like the Grinch with the thing of all piled on the sled. Then you make money, and then you're poised to be able to purchase coming to market in January. You'd have a lot of money to be able to come and buy all the new things, having gotten rid of the things that you didn't really need to have anymore. I think that's phenomenal. And so, are you guys excited about that? I mean, this is a platform that is really there to help streamline your business and not suck a lot of your time away, so that you can use it to get more projects or be with your family or do things, because it's to help make your business run more smoothly. And if it's only you that has all the knowledge, and I was saying, what if something happens to you, like you go outside, you get hit by a bus, is your business going to go down that, going to be over, or do you have a system in place that anybody could step into and run? And I don't want anybody to get hit by a bus, but I end up documenting a lot of things, because I think like the company shouldn't just stop if something happens to you. It should be able to continue to run, and a platform like this allows that to happen. And Dustin was also in London, and he came and spoke and shared about Stage Force, which was really cool. And one of the things you and I talked about was so they do an RFID. I don't know if you guys know that, the RFID version versus some other companies have the, I know my brain is not working, barcode scanners. So talk about how you guys adjusted some of the stickers to read.
Thank you for bringing it up. So how many people think you have to use a reader to use Stage Force? Like people probably won't raise their hands, but there's a lot of people that just associate Stage Force to inventory management, gotta own the reader. You do not, okay? The reader part will help you, especially when it comes to e-commerce later, but the most important aspect is you can use a QR code. Each label has a QR code. It's got an RFID signal in there already built in. It's got your name on it, and it's got the number on it. So they're not expensive tags. Like when you go and get on Stage Force and you want to manage inventory, I think they're like 17 cents a piece. So you just spent whatever amount on the chair, and now you're going to add 17 cents to put a sticker on. It's not a big deal, right? Like it's worth your time. But basically we tell people buy our tags because you'll be able to grow into the reader if you'd like. And then you can imagine if you have 30 of these chairs, and when your crew goes to grab 5 of them for the show, they don't grab the exact 5 with the right numbers on them, right? They just grab the first 5. The reader helps you, it reconciles for you. When it's smart enough that when you get to the property, you say this is staged, it goes, okay, you had 5 chairs, but you didn't bring those 5 numbers. We're gonna swap it out for you. And you can imagine though, when you go to sell these at your property and the buyer of the home says, I want those 5 chairs. When they're the right numbers, you're good to go. You would retire them. They're gone from the system. So it's a really important to be flexible. We have, I think, like roughly half of our audience doesn't use the readers. They use just visually you can use the system. So it's super flexible. And as of yesterday, in 7 years, we haven't done this. There is free trials starting yesterday.
Woo! Woo!
Yeah. So if you are new and you've been wanting to sign up, which is like the vast majority, they're all like, we've heard of you. We know we're supposed to be doing this. We should have been doing this a long time ago. Well, there's 30 days free now where you can just get into the system. And my first recommendation would be put your projects in, because if your projects are in there, you will go to it daily. And if you go to something daily, then you all of a sudden get into the system and you just keep seeing the inventory button, and you'll be like, you know what? If I just had that inventory button working because I didn't have my inventory in, then I'll use it and I will get into the habit of being efficient and being online.
And then the stickers that were on the chrome and glass that had some issues with being read, you fixed that as well.
Well, there's special kind of stickers that have a little foam back that like pull it off the metal, and that helps the reading signal. So
that helps eliminate. Some people have talked about like if you're using the RFID and it was in a truck or something, this thing was bouncing off metal or whatever. So they solved that issue as well. So I love that they're listening. They're listening to the feedback they get from their customers. And all of you that have been early adapters to Stage Force, thank you, because your feedback has helped make it better and better for those people who are coming in now. It's kind of like my story about like walking through the snow 2 miles uphill to go to school, being like the pioneer staging, blazing the way. They blazed a trail, the early adapters, with this company who really is partnering with our industry. So, and
you would like to think Tori Prince, who started this company, is in Jamaica right now, because she's usually at this show. She's actually in Florida, but that's not for vacation. But she has put every dime of subscription dollars that you guys have ever provided back into the company. Tori Prince has not made a dime off Stage Force this entire time.
Wow.
It goes 100% back into the development of the software. So she's looking at the long-term goals. She looks at it from her own perspective of what I want with as a stager, and wants to keep going to make it as good as possible for you all. So
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And lastly, we have Bradley from Bo Digital.
Yes. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you very much. This is our first time being at an Iahsp event, and we are very grateful to be here. So thank you, Jenny and Amy, for having us. Bo Digital is a custom marketing service. So we offer custom marketing, things like social media content and engagement, marketing emails, blog entries. We help with videos, paid ad placement, strategy, and branding.
So how do you, when you're working with a customer, how do you figure out what their voice is, or what to put on the social media so it's not just vanilla generic?
Yeah, so once we onboard a new partner, we call all of our clients partners. Once we onboard somebody new, we have a kickoff call where we talk a little bit more about what makes you different, what's your differentiating factor, and then how do you lean on that? Where are you communicating with your customers at right now to get new business? And then also on the retention side of things, how are you getting more business from your current clients? Because both of those are much different. And when we start to talk with everybody about that, things just come out naturally in those conversations that we latch onto, and then are able to write content and create content based around that.
Talk about some of the things that you're able to do in the time saving. How does what you do benefit, and I already know the answer to this, but I want them to hear it. How does what you do benefit a business owner who says, well, I can do all that. I like doing social media. I like posting. I like doing these different things. Is that really the best use of your time?
That's exactly it. So think about, not when you're slow, how much extra time you've got. You've got all these aspirations to write those blogs and write those marketing emails. But what do you do when you're busy? How often do you really take a look at your marketing plan and what you're doing month to month or even quarter to quarter? That's where we've really created a business around saving you that time, allowing us to do what we do best as professionals in marketing, while you do what you do best with staging and design.
So they're giving you back, which is really important. They're giving you back your time. And I remember I was at a conference in, I think it was Nashville. We did our advanced stager training, and I had a person that came and she was speaking about delegating and the importance of delegation. And for me, sometimes it's like, well, by the time I tell the person what I need them to do, I could have done it myself. And I'll never forget, the whole room was like, they almost erupted like, no, you need, if you can pay somebody a certain dollar amount that's, in your budget and it works better, that will save you that time, that's what you need to be doing, because you don't want to be the one doing absolutely everything. Even though you can, is that really what you need to be doing in your role? And as the CEO, the owner of your company, you need to be looking for more clients. You need to be developing different ways to earn revenue, or just be able to take some time for yourself. And not feel guilty about that either. Be able to take trips, do different things, and knowing that your content is going to be published. Because one of the platforms we use a lot is Google My Business. And I know that when I post on there, consistently and so forth, we get calls, and then it'll be something like an event like this, and I get completely pulled in another direction. And so then I'm not posting there. But if it was automated, and not like a robot, but automated, going through a company that does that for me, that would be so valuable. So think about your time is money, and that's the great equalizer. You cannot buy time. You can't get it, you can't save it, you can't store it up, it just goes by. And so your time is so valuable, and a company like this partnering with you to help make your time more effective, and you not having to take and going to all these different platforms. I use things like Hootsuite and these things in the past, but they, some of the platforms like Facebook didn't like those because they're based out of country, and they are known for having like hackers and things like that get in there. Have any of you been hacked on Facebook? I'm surprised it wasn't hacked for this event. The last 2 times we've had a conference, I've been mysteriously hacked, and they've taken over all my pages and so forth. And part of that is you open yourself up to these companies that you don't know who's behind them at all. And so being able to have a face to a trusted company, handling your marketing is important.
Yeah, I agree. And since you brought up social media, that's one that's really our bread and butter as a company, because we use a scheduling tool similar to Hootsuite, but one of the key differentiators to what we use is that we can post to all of your platforms, but we don't push the same content out on the same day at the same time across all platforms. What we found is that really decreases the engagement piece, because when people take that social media break on their lunch break or in the evening when they get the kids down for bed, they're scrolling 3 to 8 different platforms in one block of time. Well, if they've already seen your post on Facebook, and then, well, now they're done with Facebook, now I'm going to go over to TikTok, and they're scrolling there, and then they see the same content, and then they move on from that to Instagram, and it's the same post. Now, all that hard work that you've put into creating that content and scheduling it and posting it goes out the window because you're just background noise. So what we do is we'll invert your content calendar so that week 1 of Facebook, maybe week 2 of Instagram, which may be week 3 of LinkedIn. So it's all the same content for the entire month, but it's not being pushed out all at the same time.
And then you said you do blogging for people. And how many of you have blogs? How many of you write regularly on that? Very consistent, which is really, that's the whole key, is the consistency. No matter what you do, you're going to do a podcast or a blog, it's the consistency, because people will start to follow, and then you don't want to be like, where'd that person go? So the blog content and the marketing content that goes out, is it unique and customizable to the individual company?
Yes, so that's one of the biggest hurdles for a lot of folks when they first sign on with us, is they don't want to relinquish complete control over their entire marketing, which is okay, because we can just be the ones creating the roadmap, and then you're creating the content. You could give us the roadmap that you want us to follow, and we'll create it, or anything in between. Because we're completely custom, it doesn't matter what you want that relationship to look like, we can conform to that. So with the blog content, and any of the content, we like to be set up on some sort of bi-weekly or monthly call, just a quick 20 or 30 minutes to hear what's top of mind for you, boots on the ground in your own business. What are you hearing from your customers that they need? What questions are you answering over and over and over again that maybe you're not communicating that answer well enough? And then that's where we're going to derive a lot of your content from. And the consistency with the blogs is really important, especially if you're uploading them to your website, because Google will reward that updated content every 60 days with higher organic SEO results to make sure that not only that content, but your entire website is being seen as much as possible.
Where are you located?
So I'm based out of Indiana. We're a team of 21 full-time, fully remote team members spread across 6 different states.
And I appreciate you saying that, because in the past, I have hired like the virtual marketing, and it was a horrific experience because I'm tired, my synapses are not firing, but the content, the way the structure was put together, it didn't make sense. And I could tell that somebody who wasn't from here, maybe they were in a foreign country, had written it. And not only the spelling, the grammar, the syntax, and so forth, it didn't make sense. And I would get so irritated, because I'm like, you're not getting it. You're not understanding what we need. And so to be able to work with a company that understands the industry, understands what you need, is really, really important. So any last words from any of you? Well, thank you all for being here. Make sure to step over to the booth. Tomorrow they'll be here all day as well. And again, give it up for the sponsors that are here. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for being here. I'm going to bring up our next speaker, and I think she's a closing speaker.